show you guys how I just pull motors and stuff for LS swaps and everything like that, or any of my swaps, and how you can make some money doing it too. So this truck is a 2002 GMC 2500 HD. So it's got the 6-liter 4L80E, 3/4 ton drivetrain and all that. So basically, this thing's got no title. The guy couldn't get the title, I don't know. And he said there's a transmission issue with it or something like that. So I picked this car up, or this truck up for 500 bucks. And so basically what I'll do, I'll just tear it down. I got someone who's interested in buying a truck whole. He just wanted the frame, but I told him I'll just pull what I want out of it, and I'll sell him the rest. So that'll work out pretty good, because then, you know, I got parts all over the place from these part outs, and it honestly becomes a headache. It's more of a problem than anything else. Like, yeah, you'll make some money doing it, but it's probably not worth the time sometimes. You sell the big stuff, like you sell the motor, transfer case, you know, whatever, depending on what you need or what you're going to use. Sometimes doors and stuff, the rear ends, you know, those are good. Wheels and tires, if they're any good. Body panels, but you know, they're hard to sell too, so it just takes a lot of time to move those parts, and then you just got them all over your property or your house or whatever, and your wife is giving you a hard time, and it's never good. So you're almost better off just getting rid of it whole if you can. But yeah, let's jump into it. We'll start pulling the motor, transfer case. I'd like to get it all out in one. That way I could just throw it on a pallet. I could move it around easily with a skid steer or a tractor or something. And that's it, and then this thing's going on its way. So I'll probably take the Hydro Boost out of this too, because I could use it in a project for sure. And the rest will just be going. So let's hop in it and start ripping this thing down. All right, so here's the donor truck. It's pretty ratty. Frame and everything's good. It's got brand new tires on it. Body's pretty straight. The bed's all dented from me when I chained it down. It's got a plow hookup, mount, and all that. And I guess someone wrote that it's a piece of shit. PICE. Yeah. Okay. But it's got a 6-liter in it. Truck's got 330 something thousand. Supposedly the motor's only got 150,000 on it. I couldn't say for sure. Transmission shifts, but it supposedly doesn't shift in overdrive real well. But let's get this thing jumped, get it pulled in the building, and we'll start ripping it down. And that way, I hate these battery terminals for trying to jump stuff. This is garbage. And that way, I'll just hook it down there. It's probably easiest. Let's see how that goes. That should jump. And there's no battery charge at all, so it says batteries are only a year old, so that's a plus. Lights are on now. It's weird that they're stuck on. I think a cat's probably been living in here recently. My neighbor's cat. But yeah, so I'm just gonna pull wheels and tires off of this thing. Someone wants to buy it for $1,000, so I'll pull what I need out of it. I'll sell them the rest, and that'll do it. Let's get this thing started. There we go. Ignition's a little funky. Dude, this battery pack is crazy. That thing's lit right off. drivetrain. I'll probably end up keeping the transmission and everything. I might just have the transmission rebuilt, or just gone through, because it's probably got 300 and whatever thousand miles on it, I guess. So I'd like to get this transmission pulled, or the motor transfer case pulled, and I got a an old K5 Jimmy that it's got a tired old 350 in it, and I think it would be badass to have a it's kind of tight up here. I got all this shit everywhere. Yeah, and I think it would be pretty badass to get it in that truck. So that's the plan. I got shit everywhere. Alright, got her on the lift, got the jack stands under it. Obviously you don't need a lift to do any of this stuff, but it sure does help. And honestly, my back, this has helped my back so much by doing that, putting it up on lift, so I don't have to like crawl around and jump in and out of here a bunch. So you can see these trucks, they tend to rot. I don't know if someone rigged up the exhaust on this thing. This craziness here. Let me get a flashlight. So yeah, these trucks, they tend to rot. I mean, this frame looks good on it. I had another one of these, a 2001, and man, that thing, it had holes all up in here. I mean, it was fine, but damn, look at this thing. Drive shaft's garbage, basically. Wonder what the heck happened there. There was something rubbing it. You know, I bet the exhaust was hanging over or something, and it was rubbing it real bad. That thing's trashed, basically. You can see it was rubbing something here too. And then this score. So the drive shaft's probably about garbage. So it's almost not even worth keeping it. I was gonna keep it. We're gonna leave the rear in it for him, but just so he can roll it and stuff. But I've sold those rears for like $400 before, so there's some money you can make out of this stuff. But what we'll do, we'll unbolt the transfer case. So that's these couple bolts up in here. We could probably just drop this whole cross member out. We will unbolt the, I might be able to get to the motor mounts easiest here. Just completely unbolt them. And what else do we have? That's it really down here. I'm gonna cut the exhaust off. I'll see if I can unbolt it, but I'll probably just cut it. It's just easier. This has cats on it still, and they don't sound hollowed out. So I mean, that's like probably $300 there at least. Cat prices were up. Those things were selling for like $250 a piece at one point. But they're probably not anymore the way everything is. Let's see what else we got. Got the diff, which we don't need or want to deal with. It actually doesn't look too terrible to get it out, but I don't feel like it. And we'll take that front drive shaft in case we need it. So that's it. Basically, we'll unhook all that stuff. Then we got to work on unhooking all the plugs, wires. I mean, just the wires and plugs on the whole motor. And disconnect all this stuff up front. And that's it, really. So it'll be a big mess, but should be able to get it done in like 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. So let's get to it. I'm gonna push all that water out of there. That's fun. If I was smart, I would have popped this thing in neutral before I put it up. I might go jump up there and try to do that. I wouldn't try to do this any other time, or I wouldn't recommend anyone else trying to do this either. Alright, I think she's in neutral now. Alright, so yeah, I want to try that. It's not a good idea at all, actually. But I figure, what the heck? Get a little workout in, right? These things, they're really stuck. Alright, I'll give it a little tap, bust these loose. Alright, so you pull it. Throw this in. Oh shit. Alright, that's out of the way. Go ahead and we'll just disconnect all this stuff up here. I have to reach it from the other side. So yeah, we're just gonna disconnect all this stuff. Simple. I'll disconnect all of these also. Basically just disconnect everything while you can. Because the smallest wire will just hem you up from pulling it. I'll disconnect shift linkage, disconnect fuel lines, we'll disconnect brake lines up there. That's it really. It's kind of an awkward angle for you guys, but now I'll just disconnect the front drive shaft. I actually have another one of these laying over there. I don't know what else to do. Break these free. I gotta cut this exhaust off anyway, so I'll just go ahead and do that. Get it out of the way, so then I could just drop the drive shaft down easily. So let's grab. I don't know what size those are. We'll see. bust them out of there and slide them out. Let's unbolt. We'll unbolt the trans cross member, and what else? That's it. Should be it for under here. Gotta disconnect the shift linkage, which is easy. We'll pop this off. And we just have to pop this out of there. That should be about all. I know I'll forget something, I always do, and then I end up having to jack the thing back up. Alright, we got cross member out, exhaust out, unhooked what we needed to, I believe. There might be another thing or two. Make sure you unhook the brake lines from the transmission, because that'll hem you up. I think that's it from down here that I can think of right now. Like I said, I'll probably end up having to come down here again, which is usually the way it goes. But this thing is leaking oil like a sieve. But that's it. Yeah, we'll get it. Get the truck dropped down, and that way we can start yanking on some stuff and see if we can get this thing pulled out. Got to unhook a few things up in the engine bay, but that's not the biggest deal. It's easy stuff. And oh, you know what? I'm gonna unbolt the motor or the cab mounts on this thing too, because it's nice sometimes if it gets stuck, I can just lift the cab with the lift and not have to worry about angling stuff too much. And with pulling it all out as one, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass sometimes, but it helps when you can lift the whole cab up. So we'll probably do that. Alright, she's down. Let's start pulling this stuff out. Pretty simple. I'll unhook the battery, unhook all the cables, clamp off these hoses, make sure all the power steering hoses, all those fluids and everything, I'll try to get them all drained out. And then basically this thing's ready to yank. Unbolt the fuse box, which I won't need anything out of there, I don't think, but just in case, I'll just take it. And it's nice to have extra fuses and stuff. And that's it, really. So let's get to it. We'll start ripping this thing down now, and it should be pretty simple. Alright, so I tried to do a time lapse. I don't know if it worked or not. And it wasn't really much that you can see. But basically, got everything out of the radiator. Radiator's free. So from the motor's free, basically. I unbolted as many of these engine mounts bolts as I could. So now, pull the intake. So I just pulled everything. All injector line injector wires, everything that would be in the way. So I'll pull the intake, and then that way I can get have a plate I put on there, and then I can hook the cherry picker to it. I actually probably have to pull that. Probably have to pull it because it's on that motor over there. So I'll have to pull that off real quick. Alright, let's get this thing. Oh, good. Alright, that's good. Damn, that could have been a bad thing, especially if I wasn't paying attention and knocked it in there and then didn't see it go in. I'm missing one, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but I saw it fall in here too. I'm gonna find this one real quick, and then we'll be good to go. I'll pop this intake back on. All right, so let's put this I don't know what you would call it, hoist attachment or whatever, lifting point. So let's pull this off, the intake off. Pretty sure I got it all unhooked. You unhook the fuel lines, injector wires, and then just unbolt the intake. The fuel lines, there's like a little fitting, a little tool you slide in, and it releases it. You can use screwdrivers, but it's just easier to get the tool. They're cheap, and you use them a bunch if you end up pulling motors like this all the time. This is hooked up somewhere. It's kind of awkward. Oh, got a little rubber hose down there. Let's see. There's something down the back. I think that pulls, that might be vacuum for the brakes, I don't know what that is. Okay, intake's off. Now you can look in here, see what a mess it is. But alright, so you got the intake pulled off. You can see in here it's a big mess. I might try to vacuum that out real quick. Then we'll pull the cover, valley cover off, and throw this in there and just hook up to it and start trying to hoist it out. I got most of the bolts undone. I got to do one more bolt for the engine mount on the driver's side, and it should be good to go. Alright, I got her in there. Got my little leveling thing on there, and that's it. Let's slam this sucker in there, hook it up, and we can see what happens. It would be helpful if I had the jack thing for this. Alright, I got my bar. Oh no, it's sitting right there. So let's drop her down. Alright, let's get it hooked up. Alright. I still have to access two of these little spots, two of these bolts for the motor mount. So see if I can figure that out. Alright, best way I can get to that is from the passenger side wheel well, or driver's side wheel well. I'll do that real quick. Alright, got the motor mounts loose. Now, I almost think I should pull the hood off. Probably. I'll try to jack the frame up. I'll jack the body up a little bit. Didn't really get much out of it. I'll have to pull the hood off. I forget if I did that last time or not, but I guess I probably did. Here's what we got here. I mean, this probably was a little more labor intensive, or less labor intensive, but it was just more of a pain in the ass. I had to get a lot of wires cut out of the way, and probably would have been cleaner if I had done it the right way. So, doesn't matter, though, it's done, and we'll lift her out. I just hope we get it up tight. I think we're getting enough height. Kind of screwed up there a little bit. Should have lifted the back end, or yeah, I'll have to jack the back end up, get that leveler right. close. There we go. Man, I'm making a hell of a mess. Man. What the heck's stuck on there now? Alright, camera died on my camera died. So now I'm using my phone right now. I'm gonna lower this thing back down and then I'll put it out the door. And that's it. Motor's out. I cut the harness all up because I don't want it or need it. I ended up buying the harnesses because they're just way easier to deal with rather than spending days to pull a harness apart. I'd rather spend a couple $100 on a cheap one and slap it together. So she's off. We'll lower it down, and I might try to take the hydro boost out. I don't know. I might not even bother. Depends how much of a pain in the butt. I think it is a pain in the ass to get to it from the other side, from in the cab. But we'll see. I might have to just do that outside. But lower her down. And get it ready for the next guy. Whatever the next guy needs from it, he'll have it ready to go.